Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the quick take. Now, as you can see on my channel, I have not uploaded in the past 3 days. Why, you may ask? Why are you so lazy? Why have you done this to us? Well, talking about Chelsea right now is a surefire way to lose your sanity, and I needed a few days away just to, as I said, recoup and find other things to think about other than my beloved club being run into the dirt. But we come back today with the news, which is rather horrifying and in fact does not improve in any way. However, before I get into that, of course, I'm running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com. We're at 15,000 subscribers. I'm giving away 3 King of London lightsabers courtesy of OwnASaber.com. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and then check the pin comment down below for more information. Starting off with the egregious comment that came out from Pochettino the other day, reported by the Standard Sport. Here is the Chelsea manager. The fans aren't going to love another coach any more than me. It's a new project and people need to understand. I completely disagree with this statement from the Argentinian. I think I would love literally anybody else if Margaret Thatcher, if Liz Truss were to become the Chelsea manager, I would find a little bit more affection towards her than Pochettino. He has done outside of... Right, let's just separate it. I'm thinking that he's looking at this from a point of view as, well, any manager will struggle in this situation, and any manager that struggles and doesn't get wins at Chelsea isn't liked. I would agree with him to an extent. Reason being, Poch has done nothing outside of, at the very start of his tenureship, that interview where he said Chelsea are the most successful side in England for the past 2 decades. It's all about winning. Since then, it's been nothing but retracting that statement. You know, this is not the same Chelsea. Fans need to have patience. And when he describes the fans, it's not like a personal connection has been developed there. We have gone from Thomas Tuchel to managers like Graham Potter, who was out of his depth. I'm sure he was a lovely guy, but out of his depth and should not have been managing a side like Chelsea. We then had Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard is a club legend, of course, but things just didn't go well there. And then obviously you bring in the ex-Spurs coach, who has a strong tie to one of our biggest rivals in London, a group that we have such divine hatred for. You try and bring the manager who is the archetype of Tottenham Hotspur and then put him at the front of Chelsea, put him as the face of Chelsea, and then he says something like this: the fans aren't going to love another coach any more than me. I think that is quite amusing, and I also think it's slightly disrespectful to the mental capacity of Chelsea fans to say that we are dumbed down to the point that we only like managers that win things. Yes, of course, winning things is what we do. It's our DNA. We connect to those who win. But we also connect to those who show a little bit of, charisma, who show a little bit of affection towards us, who show us a little bit of something in the press conferences other than making excuses. Someone who shows care and love and passion on the touchline and with the players after games, making comments that may be a little bit egregious and a little bit inflammatory, but at the end of the day we want to see something from our managers, not someone who is going to be acting as a yes man for the board. And I think he's completely delusional to think that any other manager would have it the exact same way as he has. Him coming from Spurs, or him being a big part of Spurs' recent history, absolutely 100% plays a massive part in why Chelsea fans have not been able to connect with you, Poch. It's not down to the poor form, because as I said, that could be chalked up to the poor recruitment and injuries we've had throughout the season. We haven't seen any tactical advances in terms of positional play and such. We've only seen slight enhancements of players like Conor Gallagher, who fit his mould, which is just cover a lot of ground. Because Conor Gallagher, he is a cardio monster. Other players aren't like that. Maurizio Pochettino also says that players have his permission to tell the owners if they want him replaced. You need to ask the players. If the players believe that with another coach they can do better, I am the first who says, look, hey, or maybe they can talk with the ownership or sporting directors, sorry, Winstanley and Stewart, 2 sporting directors. This, I think he's calling the players bluff. I think he's saying, go on then, go against me, go behind my back. And what he has done to his own self-preservation is he has made himself quite likeable amongst the Chelsea players and has made himself a figure who they want to respect and who they want to gain the respect of by, as I said, being friendly towards the players and developing that connection with barbecue Sundays wherever he does at Cobham. So the players, they're going to be less likely to go behind his back and actually say, listen, this guy's just not for the job. They're going to want to not play for him, but they're going to want to show him a little bit of respect. And as I said, going behind his back and talking to the owners or the sporting directors, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think he's embedded himself too much into this side, unfortunately. We move on to news regarding sponsorship deals. This may sound a bit boring, but to me this is actually quite important. Of course, Chelsea are, let's just say finances aren't exactly our strong point at the moment. Chelsea are in talks with Malaysia Airlines, Bank of America and Riyadh Air. Which sounds interesting. However, we have an update regarding the big sponsorship, Air Jordan. Negotiations with Jordan brands have been suspended until the end of the season. Jordan will not cooperate on a potential deal with Chelsea unless the club reach minimum Europa League, which would entail us either winning the FA Cup or climbing up the table, which I just don't see us doing. We have a big chance to get 3 points on the table tonight against Newcastle at home. Kickoff is around 8 o'clock, 8 PM UK time, 2000 hours. Whether we can get those 3 points or not, we will see in the future. But missing out on the Air Jordan deal it would be quite painful, because then they would go to Spurs, and not only would the kits look way nicer at Spurs, but they'd be getting a hefty paycheck. I think PSG's current deal, they get 60 million euros a year just from the Air Jordan sponsorship. We will be missing out on a massive chunk of money for once again wasting a season with an imbalanced squad and an idiotic, wasteful manager. Speaking of managers, we have an update regarding Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick will be considered by Chelsea. As things stand, they still want to make it work with Mauricio Pochettino. Of course, if things don't work with Pochettino, that is egg on the face once again of the directors and the owners. Hansi Flick, of course, big admirer on the channel. I wouldn't be opposed to him coming in again. There are other options. Ruben Amorim maybe, De Zerbi, but I think De Zerbi and Amorim have actually been ruled out, as I reported a few days ago. Thomas Tuchel still feels hurt by his Chelsea exit. He was sacked because he wasn't deemed a strategic or personality fit. Eghbali would have to change his mind on him. Personality fit is quite an interesting one. He was the only one who actually showed any care towards the Chelsea fans and understood what it meant to be the manager of Chelsea Football Club. And from the comments we've had from him after his sacking from Chelsea, he understands, you know, you can't just keep asking for patience, and you just can't keep asking for time from the owners. You know, this is a results-based business, and if you're not getting those results, you can't build a project. So he is the only one who understood the levity of the situation that we were going into with this rebuild, and they fired him because his personality didn't fit. So literally they just want yes man. We are in big trouble, especially with Eghbali. Victor Osimhen wants around £250,000 a week, around about the same amount as Reece James, and actually less than Raheem Sterling. £250,000 a week is actually a little bit less than what I thought. I thought he'd be after £300,000, £400,000 a week. Seriously, I think he's a fantastic player. PSG can obviously cover that quite easily. Chelsea, we are trying to implement a £150,000 a week cap, but my thinking towards that cap is that £150,000 a week more towards squad players and not having just general squad players who could, you know, be wrought with injury, not having them on high wages, and actual superstar signings that we want to keep at the club for long term, we put on more competitive wages, like Victor Osimhen and Reece James, the captain of Chelsea Football Club and one of the best right backs in football. So again, Chelsea do have a £150,000 a week cap on player wages, but as I said, is that more for squad players, or is that as a general rule for every player that comes in now? But that about wraps up today's video. Again, Chelsea take on Newcastle tonight. What are your thoughts on Chelsea potentially missing out on the Jordan deal? I, for one, am devastated. It was the one chance we could finally have at getting nice kits again. It looks like we're going to lose it. Mauricio Pochettino, his comments are completely delusional. The fans aren't going to love another coach any more than me. I can absolutely guarantee you we would love literally anybody else more than you. As always, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I've been the Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.